Well, hello there, Phoenix here again, the Wild Witch. And I'm so happy that you decided to join me for my very first video. This isn't my first video, this is my first video of my second YouTube channel. But blessed be to everyone. And I have kombucha in here, I make my own kombucha. So I have kombucha in here this morning. And if you like my mug, I designed it myself. I told you in my about video that I'm an artist. So you can get this on my Etsy shop if you're interested. Okay. Okay, so Wild Witch, who are we really? Why did we really come here? What it really is our job? And like I said before in my opening video, I knew from a very young age that I came here to do something, something different, something special, something, I had a mission from a very young age, and I was the weirdo of the family. And I was also the one in the family that I didn't take any shit. My stepdad was a tyrant. I think he was a reptilian, or at least part of that bloodline. And, you know, I just didn't take any shit. You know, I didn't take any shit from my first husband either. So I just knew that, that I had to battle this out. It was like, okay, so let me back up here. I keep forgetting that a lot of you guys don't know a lot of this information that I've known about for decades. And we call this a lot of you might know this, and good for you. I'm so glad that a lot of you know this. My first awakening was, the catalyst to my awakening was that movie Thomasina, and it was a Disney movie, and I was a young child, and it was about this woman in the woods. They all thought she was a witch, a bad witch, you know, not the real witch. She was a real witch. She was not the dark witch. She could heal animals, and she was just the sweetest person in the world. And so that was my first trigger. We all have had triggers. We came in and we all have had triggers to awaken us, because those of us who heard the calling, we actually heard the calling from Gaia herself. We have come from different star systems. We were not original to this planet. We are not a 3D being. We were a higher dimensional being that heard the calling and said yes. Many of the people, many of those who know about us and know about this call us the chosen ones. Because when the calling went out, there was such a mad rush for yes, I want to help, I want to do this, that they, you know, it was like a lottery. And so, you know, only a few were allowed in. And so through the millennia, they've let more and more and more in to help Gaia and to help humanity. Now, the Wild Witch, she is here mostly to help Gaia herself. We try to help humanity, but for some reason it never works out. I'm a healer, I'm a Reiki master, and you know, since the 90s, it's like I've been trying to help humanity, and I just get frustrated with these people. It just doesn't work. And so it's always, I fall back on helping the animals. And I've rescued, and I've been with the horse, worked with horse energy my whole life. I've rescued horses. They've rescued me. I tell you what, guys, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have horses. A horse is a 6-dimensional being, and not a second dimension being like a lot of people say, oh, animals are 2D, humans are 3D. Horses are 6 dimension. And they actually are they are a lot of animals. Animals are, because animals are, they don't have that frontal lobe like humanity does. You know, the frontal lobe is our chattering mind. It's where we worry about what's going to happen next year. It's where we worry about, oh, is there going to be a second season to The Witcher? It's where we worry about, am I going to have this job next year? Where we worry about, you know what I mean? That chattering mind. The animal kingdom does not have that. And that doesn't mean that they're less than us. That means that they are pure soul. They are, we call them, they have one foot on the other world. They're so connected to the other world. They're living in this world, but they're so connected to the other world that they're just so wise, and they're like ascended masters. They work from the heart energy. And you guys are going to learn a lot about working from the heart energy with me, because that's what I do. That's what the wild witch does. She has to work from the heart, because she's empathic. She can feel everybody's feelings 100-fold, where normal people are like, what is your problem? You know, well, I could watch a commercial and see a herd of horses run across like the Budweiser team, you know, and I'll start bawling, you know. But I mean, it just means that we're so connected. We work through our heart. And the dark side, that's what they want, is they want to keep us from working through our heart. They want to keep us down. They want to keep us dumbed down. They don't want us to know who we really are and why we really came. Okay, so I'm going to jump all over the place here, guys, because there's so much information. And I want to break it down, you know, from video to video. So we heard the calling. We came from different star systems. We were, you know, higher, 5th, 6th, 7th. I'm a 7th dimension being. But when we came, we had to change our frequency to be able to live in the 3rd dimension world. It's kind of like taking a big fat foot and putting it into a child's shoe and getting it in there and then walking around with it. And so that's why so many of us have such issues here. You know, a lot of us look at us wild witches, a lot of us look at humanity and see how they treat the planet, see how they treat the animals, and they're just devastated by it. They just don't understand how they can treat other beings. I mean, we recognize all beings on this planet as equal to us, and whether they speak our language or not. The vegan movement calls this speciesism, you know, where I'm a human, so I'm above the animals. We love cats and dogs and horses, but we only eat cows and pigs and sheep and things like that. That's speciesism. That's not part of being a wild witch. I'm sorry, guys, if you think you're a wild witch and you're still eating other beings, you might want to work on that. And so, because eating, I'm going to do a whole video on that, okay? Because eating other beings is a program from the dark side to suppress our higher dimension frequency. So as long as we eat animals, it lowers our high frequency, our vibration, lower, below a 3D. Because we're eating, when you eat an animal, I don't want to talk about that right now. So we came here, we were the chosen ones. Not everybody got in. And in the very beginning, there was only a couple thousand of us. And you know, when you hear a lot of people say, oh, only 1 out of 25 people in the world are witches, that's pretty much true. Back then, back way in the ancient times, you know, we didn't understand who these people were. And of course, the dark side knew exactly who these people were. These were higher dimension beings that came in to take on the dark side, because for millennia, the dark side okay, remember the Inquisition, the burning times. That was the dark side. That was the dark church at work, stopping people like us, stopping those who answered the call from coming in and helping Gaia and helping humanity. Their magicians saw this before it happened. Their magicians knew that Gaia put the call out. They saw it in the stars. They saw it in the alignment of the planets. You know, the age, we're leaving the Pisces, age of Pisces, and coming into the age of Aquarius. It was all signs. They knew that we were coming, and they knew that we had been coming in, so they needed to stop us. So the dark had infiltrated everything. The dark infiltrated everything to stop those like us from coming in and stopping the dark, because the dark controls. They are the elites. We call them elites, right? The cabal. They're in our government. They're in our churches. They're in our schools. They're in the American Medical Association. They're in our banks. They're in the corporate world. They're in everything, and they take everything from us. They treat humanity and this planet like they're slaves. They've been nothing but their slaves to make them rich beyond what we could even comprehend. And so they've been doing this to us for millennia. They've turned us into, yes, useless eaters, mindless consumers. We eat and we consume and we spend, and then we get sick and we go to the hospitals and we use their poisons, and we have to get cancers and use their very, very expensive chemo and radiation that only makes money for them. And it's all about using this planet and using humanity. Hold on. Woo, I'm fast, ain't I? I just got the batteries low. So this is going to be new for a lot of you people, and a lot of you people are going to go, what is she talking about? And this is the other communities, the other awake communities, the truthers, the UFOers, the disclosers, the light workers, we all know this. We've already all have known this. And I'm hoping that you that are here listening to me, you know this too. And so if you know this, it's time for us to get busy, isn't it? It's time for us to start using our powers. They have been so afraid of how powerful we are, especially the woman, that they've done everything. They've thrown everything at us, including birth control pills, to suppress our powers. I mean, we could go through history, down through history. My other channel, I'm reading the book, The Great Cosmic Mother. You need to pick that book up and read it. I might read it on this channel. I'm not really sure, or I might link those two videos that I've done so far. But once you learn what has been done to the feminine, to suppress the divine, to suppress our power, so that we could not wake up to why we really came here. And so we could not wake up to what we are supposed to be doing now, exposing the dark. We came to set Gaia and humanity free. And yes, not all of humanity is going to wake up. It is a choice, but we are here to help those who are trying to wake up, who, yeah, they want to wake up, but are still under the matrix. They're still under the power of the elites, the dark, the Luciferian satanic worshipers. I mean, we could get right into child trafficking. Walmart's a front for child trafficking. Wayfair is a front for child trafficking. They use their massive ship line, their ships in the oceans. We think they're just shipping product. They're shipping children. The dark Luciferian elites, yes, it's true. They use children and women and men in their rituals. These dark bastards, they work their magic 24/7. They're constantly working their dark magic because we are waking up. Our power is getting stronger. We're starting to expose them, but there's a lot of us who are just sitting around not doing anything, you know, taking walks in the woods, you know, watching fun little Halloween movies. And so that's what they're hoping for, that those of us with all the power don't realize the power that we have and why we came here. It's much broader than doing, you know, a little money spell. We came here to stop them. This is a big, huge spiritual battle. It's a battle against the Luciferian, I don't want to say devils, because I don't believe in the devil. I believe in the dark energy, and I believe they can conjure dark energy and use it against us. And man, they've had a lot of practice, and they've been using it for millennia, you guys. So the wild witch, we have the power and the strength to take them on. And let me tell you, I've been battling them for years. I mean, shadow people, nightmares, they're sending me their, okay, how many of us grew up in the church? Yeah, right? And remember all the nightmares we used to have because if we left the church, the demons were going to get us. Remember how horrible, we used to have horrible nightmares. I was so afraid to leave the church. And the night before my first Reiki class, I had this horrible nightmare. It was the Grim Reaper. You know, he was in the cloak and he had his sai and he bony face and bony hand, and he was coming to get me. And the dream was so vivid. It was just like you and me talking right now. And he grabbed a hold of me. And like I told you, I'm a warrior, guys, right? I'm a battler. He grabbed a hold of me and I fought him. And I just fought him, and I remember biting on his bony finger, you know, his bone. And I remember the cold, rancid, acrid taste in my mouth. And I can remember today. And so it was the dark trying to stop me, keeping me controlled, keeping me dumbed down, because they knew once I started taking my Reiki classes, I was going to realize it was going to be another trigger. I was going to realize who I am. I was going to start reclaiming my true powers. And so, yes, that part, that is in this book, Dragon, Horse, and Seeker of the Forgotten Knowledge. So when I wrote this first book, I published it in 2012 after the Great Shift. Remember, we all were talking about the Great Shift. The Great Shift is what's going on right now, you guys. The Great Shift is about overturning the dark side and helping Gaia go into the fifth dimension, helping us ascend from the third dimension into the fifth dimension, returning back to the beauty and the wonder and the grandeur that Gaia used to be before these dark beings came here and wanted to take over. So all of that is in this story, and it's set in ancient times, but it pertains to what's going on today. And so I fought this off, and the next morning I took my first Reiki class and went on to be a Reiki master. Never had a nightmare ever again. So that was my first major battle against them. They could not get me through my dreams anymore. So I went on to doing battle in my dreams against them because I knew I could kick their asses. And it is so much fun, you guys. Even in meditation, I've gotten to be like really good, like Michael, Archangel Michael with his sword. you guys, the sky is the limit. Let your imagination run wild. Whatever you think you can do. So, I mean, I'm really good at using my sword and taking on these dark ones. I can do it in my dream time now. I can heal in my dreams. I mean, there's so much, you guys, I gotta tell you, but I don't want to do it in one video. So the wild witch is the term that was given because during the early times, we didn't have an understanding. Humanity didn't have an understanding. The dark side had an understanding what was going on, but the language was different back then. So we are like the indigo warriors. We came to help Gaia and set the animal kingdoms free. We came to help her. We came to bring her back in the fifth dimension and to bring the animals with her and to help humanity on the way. I feel for me, humanity, it's up to them. You know, it's like, it's up to them if they want to wake up or not. And we can see it in the news and everything today. They are starting to wake up, but a lot of it they're not able to comprehend. And there's just so many layers to this ascension process. So we are the ones, we are the warriors that came in to, use the white magic to stop the dark magic. And yeah, you guys, after you listen to this video and you start waking up, you might want to really amp up your protection. I have orgonite all over my house, everywhere. I make it. I'm going to be selling it on my Etsy page. I'm having too much fun right now with it, but I might be selling it. But you guys, you really, once you start awakening, your light's going to go, ah, and they're going to go, oh crap, another one. And so the dark has the same opportunity of playing out their role as the white. It's that balance, remember? So if the white goes, the dark goes. And so it's just been that the dark's been overshadowing the light for so many thousands of years. So just expect that once you start your battle work, that they're going to come in. And, you know, that's why I use Morgana LeFay, because she's the warrior, isn't she? And so I work with her, but we're all warriors, you guys. We all have the power. Reclaim your power. It's all in here. It's all in here. It's all in here. So if we feel we have the power and we feel we have the strength and we work through the heart, we're unstoppable. They already know that they're being defeated. So you guys who haven't gotten in on the fight, get in. It's a lot of fun right now. Get in on this fight. It's time to expose them. Maybe you can wake up your witchy brothers and sisters to what's going on. And it's so much more than reading our oracle cards and, you know, doing our herbal work and, you know, filling in our book of shadows. It's so much more than that. And if we start doing our work, we're just going to have that much more power added to who we already are. And so this is so important, especially right now. They can't hang us anymore, can they? They can't burn us anymore, can they? They have to try things psychically now. And so you need to put up your psychic shields. You know, for me, I use the mirrors all around me, send their shit back to them. But I have this attitude now that, you know, I was bullied when I was a kid. I went through all of that. I was bullied. I had a bad first husband. And my second husband, he's a pretty good guy, but he was an alcoholic too. But he was always triggered to stop me when I started my witchy journey. He was totally against it. He tried so hard to stop me. And then I just said, hey, you don't like what I'm doing? Go ahead and leave. because it just meant you were going to leave me anyways. I was just reclaiming my powers. You know, this was back in the 90s, you guys. And I was just, you know, I'm a woman, hear me roar, you know. So you know, we have all these triggers and the psychic attacks and to stop us. But I have learned, you know, the shadow people, I got to the point where the shadow people would come. I would kick their ass. I would literally kick their ass. I wouldn't go, you know, I mean, as soon as I saw them, I mean, I was battling them. And my husband was funny because he'd be like, oh, geez. You know, he'd be half asleep over there on the side of the bed. So when I started to learn how to literally kick their ass, they stopped coming because they know they can't use that against me anymore. I'm just not afraid. And it's because I'm working through the heart, and your heart is, oh my gosh, you guys, that's where all your intuition is. It's working through your heart. You don't realize it, but it's through the heart that's your intuition. And those of us who work through the heart, it's so funny because we can watch scary movies and something bad will come and we'll just sit there because our heart intuitively knew this was coming before we actually saw it with our physical eyes. And my husband, you know, he'd be over there going, oh, you know, and I'm just sitting there like, oh God, you know. But yeah, we're going to learn about that too. We're going to learn about a whole bunch of things. We're going to learn how to increase our intuitive powers and our abilities by working through our heart, something that a lot of us don't use in our work. Yeah, the heart chakra, we learn how to do the chakras and all that, but we don't learn why. We don't learn actually how to do it. When everybody says, oh, it's, you know, we're going into the fifth dimension, it's the love frequency, we're going into the love frequency, so everybody start working through the heart. How do you do that? Because then we're in the third dimension, we don't feel the fifth dimension frequency, and I felt it before. I've had a QHHT session, and I felt it, and it is nothing like the 3D. All I could do was bawl. All I could do was cry because that feeling was amazing. So I'm going to teach you a lot, guys, things that you probably haven't learned about before. So we're going into new waters. We're diving deep, as Ralph Smart would say. But we're going with Gaia. We're going with the animal realms, the animal kingdom. We're going to learn how to use our spiral wheel. I mean, you guys are going to learn a lot of different things. Yeah, we're going to have some fun in between because, you know, we got to do all that fun stuff too. It's not all work, right? Right. So, okay, that is my video for today. And we're still in the Halloween season. I hope I get this out before Halloween season ends. So it's all about, once again, connecting with the ancestors. That's where a lot of our power is, you guys, connecting with our ancestors. You can see that table has pictures. I bring everybody out over this whole month that's crossed over. My animals, all my horses, my dogs, my family members. My dad crossed over, the old gypsy guy that he is. He crossed over last August, and he came in and did some wonderful work with me and my daughter who was battling, she was being attacked and she was battling cervical cancer. And I'm going to get into that. I mean, that was amazing what we did with that and how we stopped them and where she is today and how my dad on the other side helped. I mean, I'm getting emotional already. You'll get used to me because I do a lot of crying, you guys. And it's just because I work through the heart, okay? So I feel things so much deeper. So I hope you enjoy my channel and I hope you stick with me. And I'm so happy that you're here. And you know what they say, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. So when I do come up with another video, you'll get to see it right away. But a lot of things coming up, you guys. It's a brand new channel. I'm stepping away from my other channel and working with you guys now. So we will be talking to you soon.